Hey, you! You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed because you're an untouchable success. To support us and gain access to great exclusive shows like our brand new Supernatural watch-along Himboos, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You'll also get your lucky little mitts on hundreds of episodes of our other exclusive shows like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, and the complete series of Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We do movie nights, game streaming, regular mini-series and surprise shows, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want, within reason. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by heading to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed. Probably don't need help with that word.
Is Zazie Beetz the best name?
Probably.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
And definitely for a movie like this. Like, yes. Zazie Beetz. Whomst does she beat? Just a whole hotel full of people.
Yeah. Second best name, by the way, weirdly, Abraham Lincoln.
It's a good... Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched They Will Kill You.
They will kill you.
Or will they?
This building is a temple to Satan. Each month we must pay with a human sacrifice. Tonight, you are the offering.
They won't succeed. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Well, I guess it's not spoiler. They won't succeed in killing you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're I said this last time. We're like a week behind, which is fine, whatever. We're about to hit it doesn't matter. So
we're gonna get caught up. It's fine.
We'll get caught up.
We're about to hit a real deluge of releases. We're about to get like some awesome movies, blasted. One right after the other. Yeah, we're ramping right up into summer, I think, after this.
Oh yeah. And this movie came out pretty much the same. It's like 1 weekend after.
Mm-hmm. Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. Yeah. And it's all to say that this movie bombed. It bombed hard, and I want to point that out at the start of this.
I see.
It made $5 million. It cost $20 million, and I think that's a shame, Tom.
It is. It is a shame
because I quite liked this movie.
Yeah, I wanted to like it more than I did, but that's fine. I still liked the filmmaking. I liked how melodramatic it was. Like I liked that it's a little. The tone of it is almost like a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
It's very Kill Bill. And I love that they managed to hide the surprise in the trailer.
Yes, they did. I knew there had to be a surprise, but
it seemed too straightforward, yeah.
Right, because when it begins, you're like, and then what? The movie's over.
Yeah.
It's all to say, like, this is part of the genre we talked about with Ready or Not, which is like we're now taking horror and kind of making it action. This, I would argue, is more action than horror and openly more action.
Yeah.
But it was like a shame that it came at the same time because I do think there's like a fatigue from this type of movie when there's too much of it.
100%. Yeah. And this really suffered from being released right after Ready or Not.
Right. And like quality aside, this belongs amongst those, if that makes sense, where this felt like a different version, like different enough. It's funny because people have been talking about how it is also about a woman being hunted by rich people with her estranged
sister. Yeah.
Yeah. It does feel like an entirely different movie where it's like, I enjoyed both movies for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I did feel the fatigue watching this one because we just covered Ready or Not like last weekend. So I did feel that. Like I definitely probably would have enjoyed this movie. I still liked it, to be clear, but I probably would have enjoyed this movie more than I did if there had more time had passed in between watching this and Ready or Not 2.
For sure. Yeah,
because
that's why
they are
it's
pretty
like,
similar.
Yeah, that's why my thoughts on the box office, I was like, that's a shame. Because
Yeah.
it feels like it's not that the movie's bad. It's not that the audience it's not like, oh, these stupid audience members. No, it's that there was 2 out at the same time. One was a sequel to a well-known established series. And then the fucking Mario movie comes out and nobody's going to have time. Like, no one had time to go watch this movie, which is, I do think, quite fun.
Yeah.
And worth watching. It's probably going to hit on streaming, I
hope so. I really enjoyed the filmmaking. I hope the director does more.
Yeah.
Maybe a little heavy on homage, but it's fine.
It's weird to say this. It was a little too Tarantino.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Tarantino isn't in himself. What I'm saying, it's a little too, like, ironically derivative of
Yes.
kung fu films.
Yes.
That stuff I didn't need. So I'll say what I liked about this movie to start is that I just liked so for people who haven't seen it, I don't know, go see it. But like, it starts the way all these start, with this woman going to this hotel. There's all these rich people that are clearly evil. They lock her in. She's the new help. She goes to sleep, and like these cultists come into the room, played by Malfoy and fucking Heather Graham.
Yep.
And she immediately just smokes them.
Yeah.
To which I thought, like, I was like, oh, that's funny. Malfoy is not in this after all. Like, he's immediately killed.
They almost show that in the trailer, too.
Yeah. And then the twist is she busts out. She's like, I'm looking for my sister. What is this place? Patricia Arquette is there and evil. And they all walk out and they've healed themselves. And the idea is they've made a deal with James Remar, Demon James Remar.
Was that James Remar?
Yeah, that was James Remar.
Sweet.
For immortality.
Yeah.
And so it's rich, immortal people. So she just keeps having
Bunch
to
of
kill them
Wolverines.
over
Yeah,
and
they just
over again.
regenerate. It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
At one point, Heather Graham's eye is chasing her through the house.
That's
Incredible.
what I loved.
Yeah.
That was the part where I was like, it's what I liked about this movie is that it went beyond what I thought it was ever going to do in like the first half hour. Like once that eye started whirling around and like slingshotted itself up
when it's like,
up the
man.
vent.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, great idea. It's the kind of idea, like, I was in an audience where the audience all went like, what?
Yeah.
Like, like, it just that escalation of like, so they're immortal, right? And it's like, that means they can be grounded to a pulp, and that pulp will start
Pulp
moving
will come
around.
after you. Yeah. It was very funny. I wish I'd done a little bit more with it, maybe, but maybe not. What we got was that eyeball was so fun. It just chases her through the vent and spies on her. They have different floors in the hotel that are devoted to different sort of indulgences. Like they have the sex floor.
But that's the only floor we see.
It's the only floor we see, but there's 9 floors. You're supposed to, I guess, it's called the Virgil, so I imagine we're supposed to infer it's like the different layers of hell.
Yeah.
So that was a funny idea.
Yeah.
Like where headless Heather Graham's body has to like mime the sex floor to
Yes,
Malfoy.
that was
It's like,
great.
the sex floor.
She has a tiny little head.
With her little head, holy shit.
Heather
It was
Graham
basically the Deadpool joke, but it was still very funny.
It was very funny. She's quickly becoming what's her name? Barbara Crampton.
I still haven't watched the
Suitable Flesh.
the thing on the doorstep one that she did.
That's the one with both of them. But she is becoming Heather Graham at some point, because she's had a weird career, right? Where like, I can't
she's
like
in Twins.
peg her.
I think that's the first movie she's in.
Like I can't peg a genre for her.
She played Arnold Schwarzenegger's mother in Twins.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And she started slowly though moving into like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be doing weird cult horror, and I love that for her. And I hope she does more. And in this, she gets her head blown off. Well, no, what happens to her the first? How many? I lost count how many times they die in half.
She gets walloped with a table leg. She gets stabbed a whole bunch. Her head gets completely erased with the shotgun, which is very funny.
And then I think she gets decapitated.
Yes.
I think her head gets got twice.
I think that's the last one.
Yeah.
I think there may be a couple more incidental like shootings and stabbings in there because they keep she essentially is killing the same 5 people over and over again. They just keep regenerating. So it's almost like she kills one of them to basically briefly incapacitate them and get away. So right, I may be forgetting a few.
Yeah, every time they fight, she has to kill them and run away. That was the thing, is like, I guess my thought on this movie is that now that we're talking about it, the things I liked, I wish there was more of. I think the strong things was the weirdness, like the gore coming alive. Mm-hmm. The idea of her killing them over and over again.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the idea of her killing them more and more again, over and over. I'm like, I kind of wish there was like a running gags with that, where she was killing someone the same way every time, or like, it was still fun. Mm-hmm. And then the floors, I'm like, they didn't really explore the floors, did they?
Yeah, we only see one, yeah.
And so like, this is a lean like 90 minutes. It's a weird one where I'm like, I don't know, maybe a little longer would have been fine. The other part I really liked was I thought the fight scenes were quite well done.
Yeah. I think it doesn't ever live up to that first one.
The first fight scene?
Yeah. When it first breaks into a fight scene between her and Heather Graham and the big guy where she's fighting them both at the same time and the camera's kind of going around the room. I think it's actually all 4 of them. Like that fight scene's really cool and it's really tightly choreographed and stuff. And all the other fight scenes are pretty fun.
I like the axe.
That's when I started to feel fatigue, was during the axe scene.
Interesting.
It was still fun, but I guess there was something about I guess I just needed more weirdness in the back half of the movie. Like for me, from kind of like the eyeball until we get to the big fight scene in the attic, it really dragged for me a little bit.
It is. So the least weird part of this movie is the story and the structure. It's exactly what you expect is going to happen. You know what I mean? It's funny to say this about it because at the end she does put on the pig. Patricia Arquette puts on a pig head and fights her as James Remar's devil. But like, for this story, when you watch, when we've had already a version of this, it is almost like that first twist of like, oh, they're immortal. Oh, you kind of know, like, okay, it's a limited budget film. This is not leaving the hotel.
No.
She's going to fight her way to the top, and then she's going to kill the devil. Like, that was kind of what where it's like,
yeah, I think I needed more fight scenes. I think you're right. Like, during the movie, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the budget and how it was kind of a mid-budget movie, and it was doing the smart thing that The Raid did, where it's where you set an action movie like this in a hotel, so all you need is a hallway and a room. You just keep redressing those 2 sets, and you just make sure the choreography is rad. And they were on point with all that stuff. It's just, I felt the movie dragging a lot because there's really only 3 big action sequences. There's really only 3 fight scenes.
Yeah, that first one, and then the table, the axe, and then the end.
And then the end.
And then it's a lot of hiding and running.
Yeah, and so it's during that stuff where we could have... You're right, I think we needed more fight scenes. Because like, with something like The Raid, if you spend too much time not fighting in those rooms and hallways, you really start to notice that they're all the same.
I think we needed more fight scenes or a weirder plot.
Or more weirdness in between the fight scenes.
Yeah, it's hard, man, because The Raid is like...
The Raid's The Raid.
Yeah, and they didn't... don't get me wrong, the action in this was very good, but they didn't have The Raid team.
No.
So it wasn't like John Wick. It was almost like, again, it was quite entertaining.
That first one in particular was like, really impressed me.
Yeah. I would put it on the level of like, sort of around like Old Boy, where Old Boy was like, the fights were decent, but of course the thing about Old Boy is the hallway fight, which isn't like particularly well choreographed. It's just great conceptually. And this has that, I think, where she lights an axe on fire in a dark room. I actually was expecting not to be able to see anything. You could just, like, I was expecting just seeing the flaming axe more, like flipping around in the darkness and hearing it. I thought it would have been a cool idea, but it was still fun. But and so like it's like the action in this was top tier, I would say.
Really good, really well
yeah.
choreographed and staged and filmed, and there were good ideas to it.
Right. It's sort of just like it's amongst so much action movies now where we've distilled action into these beautifully choreographed, where it's like in the world of John Wick's, it's like, it's hard. It's hard.
It's tough, man. Because how you John Wick does stuff like, what if he fell down the stairs? And they take that and turn it into like one of the most memorable sequences in any action movie you've seen recently.
It's hard. And so they went with weirdness and they went with, like you said, Dead Alive. What I really liked, some of the stuff I loved is like, for example, when they first come out in the hallway and they're immortal, the reveal, and they're all like, they're missing limbs and shit. They reattach their limbs and it's very clear what they did for the effect. And it was so awesome is that they clearly took a dummy limb or a dummy and they ripped it off and they reversed it.
Yeah.
And it looked good. It looked
so
like
grotesque.
Really neat.
Yeah, it's a good effect.
Yeah, and so this like horror, like Dead Alive style gore sequences.
It's gnarly.
Like,
yeah, this movie's gnarly.
Yeah, and they were really cool. And I can see that a fatigue setting in at the end when you have the CGI pig head for one. I'm almost certain that's CGI.
A lot of it is.
Yeah. And
some of it wasn't.
Kind of,
but...
yeah. And there hasn't been enough action scenes where, again, like the promise of The Raid, but horror. The Raid is already kind of horror. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's true. Has some grisly violence in The Raid. Not like this, but well, no, I think it's grislier in The Raid because in The Raid it's still in the realm of being realistic, and this it's cartoonish.
Grounded.
Yeah, this is cartoonish. That's the word, grounded.
The Raid is like, let's
remember
make
The Raid 2 when our hero burns a man's face on a grill.
Yeah,
it's hideous.
Yeah, and this it does feel like they didn't like. There's a scene where like they're in a kitchen, and I was like, oh, they're gonna fight, and there isn't a fight.
I loved the filmmaking with that. The way it like the. I remember the shot though when it sort of. It like films, I think, her hiding, and then the camera moves to the door for the big guy to come in, and then the camera kind of does an interesting move to reframe the table, and it frames it in a way that you're like, oh, we're gonna fight on or around this table.
Yeah,
it was a cool. It was really. I really liked the filmmaking. I did.
I liked. There was some good when they're going through the weird ducks, the weird like
that
crawl
stuff was
spaces.
Fun.
The
that
dollies
shot
where like
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, there's just like one where dollies way in and then dollies way out and follows someone and dollies back in for the next person, and then like the 2D almost shots of them like crawling through. This is a fantastic like cinematographer and director and editor and
everybody. The air duct sequence is incredibly fun. It's filmed and it's staged in such a great way. Like it's very Scooby-Doo. But never so overtly that you notice it at the time. But it's doing the same Scooby-Doo gag. It's they're chasing each other through a maze and they can't find each other. There's like 5 characters, I think, crawling around, and one of them's an eyeball.
Right.
Eventually,
and it's
Heather Graham
around.
begins the scene as Heather Graham, but she ends the scene as an eyeball.
Yeah, and I guess talking about the directing style, like, is really unique and really like good when it's working. That kind of. Going back to like the Tarantino stuff, that's almost why you don't need that, because it was like it almost gets in the way of like a uniquely made film.
Yeah.
Or when they do that part where they do like the kung fu film stuff, it almost feels like. I mean, this was my problem with Tarantino, which is that he's a collage artist,
right? And
sometimes the collage to me is off-putting. Where it's almost like, man, pick a style.
Yeah.
You know?
These flavor palettes are clashing.
I've cited this before. What sums up to me Tarantino's career is the beginning of Pulp Fiction, where the credits roll and it has that really good music.
Miserably.
And then you literally hear a radio station changing to something else, and it ruins the mood for me. Like, he literally during the credit goes like, I'm sick of this song. What else can I play? And it's like, just stick to one. Quentin.
You were nailing it, Q.
Yeah. Like that to me is him, where it's like it's that permanent like, oh, there was this other movie I saw with this other really cool thing, and then it's cocaine. It's cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you hear the radio, it's like you're listening to the radio. It's like you're the one that's changing the radio. You get it, man?
Yeah.
It like immediately grounds you, puts you in the world. Like, oh wait, I thought this was diegetic, but it's not diegetic.
Yeah. This has less of that problem, but it does have the thing where like that, especially that first intro, they do very like that style of like, oh, we're doing like 70s style. Yeah. But not really, like we're not doing the grainy film. We're just doing like a little bit of an homage, and that's
just the lighting and the staging and the
and by the end, it's not that. You know what I mean? Like the movie is...
it's pretty. It's like modern anime in that last fight.
Yeah,
almost.
So I don't know. From such like a strong director and such a strong crew, I think that pings me now. Again, like I liked this movie a lot, so I don't have much critique of it, other to say that like I think this movie is like it's more of like a proof of concept. Like
yeah. I'll agree with that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I feel the budget a bit. If that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, I did start to feel sort of confined by the same hallway and the same room. I think it just. My critique, it ultimately boils down to, I think it just has pacing problems in the second half. It needed more something. Like, because after that excellent, we go from that crazy, pleasant surprise of a good fight where it's like, oh, wow, this is an impressive first fight, to that crazy reveal that they're undead and they regenerate, to that this wild melee with a bunch more violence and she runs into the vent, and then we have that great kooky vent chase with the eyeball coming alive, and then from then it's kind of like it doesn't keep that energy going.
Yeah, it's like, so we I won't spoil Good Luck Have Fun Don't Die, but I think that movie correctly escalated, where at the beginning of that movie you're like, wow, this is already out of control, and then by the end you're like, okay, this has gone nuts. It's kind of that where it's like they did the right thing, which is like in the first half hour, you're like, what the fuck? This is not what I was expecting. There's an eyeball rolling. This is wild. And then it sort of calmed down for a while.
Yeah.
And then it has the pig head at the end, which is cool. But it is sort of like that feeling of like, they should be on the moon fighting.
Yeah,
now.
What are we doing? Yeah. The president should be here.
And that's why it feels like a budget issue where I think they made smart decisions with the budget. They had like a $30 million budget. So it's like with what they were working with, it was like, we're never leaving the hotel, obviously. And what are you going to do? Like, by the end, you fight Satan. And how do we do Satan? It's like a pig head on a spike that then Patricia Arquette puts on. For what they're working with, that's a cool idea. Like, that's a good escalation.
Yeah. There's cool stuff. I like when they summon the devil and he's a shadow peeking behind the window.
Oh, yeah. That looked good.
Pretty neat.
That was neat. That was, yeah. The general message is, this is another part where I'm like, it executes the message just fine, but again, ready or not, it's like the message is, hey, the rich are bad, and to become the rich, you have to make a deal with the devil. Like, it's the idea, they do the story of like Zazie Beetz and her sister, they're escaping their abusive father.
Yeah.
They do like a quote at the beginning. I forget what it is.
It's like when the poor give to the rich, the devil laughs. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically it.
And then, basically she shoots her dad, but doesn't kill him because he's going after them. Zazie Beetz goes in prison, learns to fight. It shows back
she
up. She
runs off, which I thought was a great choice. Cool. It's a great way to begin the movie, as they show us her trying to rescue her much younger sister. She's like a little kid. Their dad shows up. He's a real piece of shit. She shoots him and it doesn't kill him, and the cop shows up and she panics and runs off and leaves her sister there, and you're like, oh
yeah, and then gets arrested. And so the sister works for the satanic temple hotel and is like, I had to do what I did to survive, versus like, and it's the idea is this place where they sacrifice people for eternal life, and every now and then if they need a new servant, they're like, oh, you can be immortal too, and you'll climb up the ladder. And that's what Patricia Arquette is. She's essentially like
Yeah.
she's like trying to be one of them and will never really be that, is the idea. You get the sense she has I think she has an Irish accent. They're doing
She's
a little
Irish.
Sinners. They're throwing in a little Sinners where it's like she was clearly like an immigrant.
Yeah. And her
who,
husband's
like,
black.
Yeah. It's that idea of they will never let you in the special club no matter how much you try.
You'll be, and they've been in the club for over 100 years. We learned, so it's like, you're still the maid, and your husband's still the janitor.
It's a commentary we're seeing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking General Lockjaw or whatever. It's the same principle.
The Christmas Adventure Club.
Yeah. It's the same idea as like you're helping the fascists, really, because they're never gonna help you.
Yeah,
like they're always gonna
dead end road.
Screw you.
So one way dead end road.
Yeah, it's not a message I disagree with, but it is a message I'm getting sick of in movies right now. Is part of the thing where it's like, all right, yeah, I know, but I guess people need to hear it. So.
Yeah. It's on a lot of people's minds.
Yes, a lot of people are screaming it. So I'm like, all right, I guess. And a lot of people need to hear it. So yeah, I guess it's good that it's there. Did you get a sense, by the way? So the ending, the idea is you write your name on the pig's head and you're immortal.
Ending was a little convoluted, but I followed it well enough. But continue.
Did you get a sense that some producer was like, you need to make this more clear because there's a couple ADR lines that's clearly someone just saying what's happening?
One of them made me guffaw.
Yeah. Because the most notable one was the one I didn't need. The one I was like, no, I got it. I got it.
It was so bad that like my brother and I both like were like, we got it. It's the Patricia Arquette one, right?
Yes. And this isn't the filmmaker's fault. I'm imagining some producer
it was 100%
in the screening room like, I didn't understand. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you idiot. All right.
Do you remember what the line was?
We're making this movie to insult you. So it was like this idea. So the idea is the pig head, they're writing their names on. And then Zazie Beetz, her sister, goes to write her name into sacrifice. She's being made to sacrifice Zazie Beetz and write her name, and she writes a name on, and then she kills herself in front of her sister, and then Patricia Arquette says something like, "She wrote her sister's name, so she could be immortal instead," or something like that.
But they showed us the name.
They show us the name.
And they show us the name on the pig's head, and then
imagine a producer who's like on his phone during that scene, like, I didn't get it.
Well, yeah, so they show us all that, and then we hear Patricia Arquette in an ADR line say what Dave just said, and it's like, it makes you laugh. Like, it's such a...
The actual part that it didn't need to be explained, but the more confusing part was then Zazie Beetz cuts the name off of the pig
head
and then starts attacking, and I was like, oh, I guess by cutting, because I thought cutting the name off meant you've removed the name. She's dead. She's not immortal.
Yeah, like that's where I was sort of like...
Yeah, what it apparently means is that as long as it's still on the flesh, even if you're holding it, you're fine.
Because she then sets the pig's head on fire to put out all of the other names, and then she kicks it down the hall, and it flies down the elevator and explodes. It's awesome.
Explodes on a lady.
Yeah, crushes that lady.
This is a big part of this movie, is that explosion is practical. There's a lot of practical effects.
Yes, that dummy was practical. They got crushed.
Yeah, it was real 90s where I was just like, I am so happy.
It was incredible, yeah. That lady was great. That maid lady who gets crushed by the pig head, because earlier she traps Zazie Beetz by just getting stabbed by her. She's like, I've got her! Like she's done. It's like a Monty Python gag. Like she's been impaled by Zazie Beetz' sword. She's like, I'll hold her for you! You're like, oh, you little creep. You little creep.
Low-level creep.
Yeah.
She's a real Matt Gates sitting there.
Yeah,
Not Matt Gates. Matt Walsh. Yeah, either one.
I mean, either one.
Just being like, my liege. Yeah, and then she gets crushed. In, again, like a cliffhanger style, like explosion and it looks good. It looks better than if they CGI'd that shit. I'm just like, it's so nice to see practical effects.
It's way
in a
more
movie.
fun. Yeah, it's way more fun. It just feels like CG takes you out of it immediately.
Yeah,
it just does. Period. No matter how good it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it looks photorealistic, but anyway. Point is,
yeah, CGI can look great. It's just like certain things that it's just nice to see too.
Yeah, certain things it just looks better to me, and in action movies particularly, you should do as much practical as you can, because that's the whole movie is about impressing us with these stunts, and if it looks like a cartoon, it's not very impressive. And
I would argue,
like your brain is just being primed for a different experience when you go to see an action movie. It's my read on it anyway.
That's the thing. I would argue in action and horror genres, period, it should be as practical as possible.
Yes.
I will say with horror specifically, I think if you're doing throwback horror, then you absolutely need to be practical, right?
Yes, 100%.
If you're trying to invoke Dead Alive, for example, which I feel like they kind of are in this.
They definitely did. I don't think that eyeball was digital one time.
Yeah.
Like, even when they show us like the irising, you're like, well, I know how they did that.
Yeah.
Which
I think
good,
they did.
but...
Yeah, I think there's a lot of wire removal.
Oh yeah.
Puppet removal shit.
There's digital sweetening, but we've talked about this at great length.
Yeah. Well, it's a good reminder of why the remake or the prequel of The Thing was such a sin, because it was like, okay, we're making a new The Thing. Like, what is The Thing known for?
Yeah. Why do people like The Thing? Yeah.
Yeah, like that should have been a showcase. It should have been them going like, here's what's new in practical effects.
Yeah.
And instead it was an embarrassment, which is a shame because I actually kind of like that movie otherwise.
It's not a bad idea. It connects in a lot of fun ways.
Yeah. I like Joel Edgerton in there. He's a real, like, he seems like he would be in The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Adewale, they both seem very thingy.
Yeah, they were built for
some thinging.
So, like, this movie definitely has that going for it, where, like, any little nitpicks, it's like, overall, like...
very smart with its effects, yeah. It knew what needed to be practical, or what needed to be mostly practical.
Yeah. And I was on its side
the
whole time, and, like, yeah, I was picking up what it was putting down for sure.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I do know what you mean. Where, like, I don't know. I guess in the end, it was 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It didn't change my life, but I walked out of the theater smiling and going like, "Yeah, it was fun."
That's kind of how I felt. Like, because it was like such a lull for me in between, because even, like I said, the fire axe scene was kind of a bit of a lull for me, but the pig fight at the end, and then everything else, like the down the fire, everything we just said, the fire down the elevator and all that cool stuff, all that stuff was a blast. So I kind of had walked out of the theater at like that was good. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. So I think just to echo what you said, I feel like my critique of the movie would be, like the pacing problem in the second half, and crap, I lost my train of thought. It was the thing that you had said about it.
The style, right? That's right.
There's a bit of a tonal whiplash because it's so Tarantino. But the filmmaking was so clever in a lot of ways and fun, particularly that air duct sequence. Man, I love that sequence.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think we call this like loud filmmaking, right? It's like the idea that, and there's many movies like this where the director is a character practically. Tarantino, Wes Anderson are the two most notable ones. Mm-hmm. And it was like both of those directors were people where I'm like, I really like the style. And then it got to such a point where I'm like...
Tim Burton would be another one, I would argue.
Where they kept like cranking the volume to the point that it felt like it was like, I can't connect with your movies anymore because your style it's getting so in its own way.
You're becoming a monolith of yourself.
Yeah.
I think is how I sort of think about it, where it's like, it's less about engaging with that person, because I think you're right. It's like, it's hard for me to like relate to this, but it's more like going to an amusement park.
Yeah, it's like
that you like the amusement park.
Oh yeah, I think of it as like you're dancing with someone, and then they start break dancing, and they're like, "Check this out," and then you're just sort of on the edge watching them. Like that's the feeling of watching Tarantino for me, where he's just like, "Check out this thing I'm gonna do. Check this out. Check this out," and I'm like, I don't like just tell a story. Just tell me a story. Get out of the way of your own movie. But like,
yeah,
this
I think Tim Burton hit that point too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so. Like every now and then he'll calm down. What was the last thing he did?
Beetlejuice.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Wednesday, yeah. So he's on a hot streak now. And I still like Tim Burton. But
oh yeah, Tim Burton has always kind of been like that, so I'm less.
I connected a lot with his stuff early on, but I know what you're saying. He became a brand very quickly.
Yes. This has a couple moments I was like, get out of the way of your movie. And actually only one that I can really think of. And it's when Patricia Arquette's like, "Who are you?" And they do like the music going up and the shot like rotating around Zazie Beetz. And she's just standing there not doing anything. And I was like, okay, we've stopped the movie so you can do this camera move.
Yeah, do like an anime thing.
Yeah, and that was the only time it felt like the movie came to a halt because the director was like, I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
And that was the most that like throwback idea peaked. For the most part, though, after that and before I like that was really it. Like that one hallway scene was it for me going like, all right, calm down a bit. Like you're going over the top here, like too much.
That was the only I flagged that moment too. But that was the only time where it sort of hit me as twee.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like this has gone too far. Yeah, if it's
because twee can be fun.
Yeah, it's funny because there's also movies like Crank, right, where it's like the actors are on the same level, where it all feels consistent in the way where it's like this is all stupid in the same way. Yeah, it hadn't been that way, and I know they were signaling the tonal beat. Like that's why it was so loud there, is because they were trying to tell everybody everything's about to change.
Yeah, they're letting us know it's Kill Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have that like horror scene at first, and they do a good job with it where like the pig guy comes in, licks her foot.
Yeah.
And then she beats him up, and then Malfoy walks in and he's like, I think he's fucking them. I'm telling you. Like, and they're all like,
yeah. And there's a good kind of a bit of a tease reveal there where she wrestles with Pigman and knocks him back so that like the back of his neck hits the table and then his skull hits the fridge, and it's an old heavy fridge and it makes a cracking noise when he does this. So I thought he was dead. And when they come in, they're like, they're looking at her, and I think Malfoy's like, she's out. And Heather Graham's looking at Pigman, and she's like, he's out too.
Yeah.
So, I guess he's just unconscious. But then, of course, the reveal is that they regenerate. So I'm pretty sure he is dead.
Yeah, he's dead. No, it
he
makes
just
sense.
Comedy. Yeah.
You're right. Sorry, I didn't think about this.
Yeah. It's subtle if I'm reading it right.
No, you're completely right. You know why? Because there's a comedy beat where she then, when she breaks off the table legs, he just stands up and takes one without a word. And you're like, that's weirdly casual, like for him just waking up. But no, he just resurrected and he's used to it. He's just like, I'm alive. Give me the thing.
Yeah, give me the stick.
That's the idea for sure.
Yeah.
That's really I didn't catch that. Like, I guess that's a really good little hint because
it's a fun little hint in that first scene. Yeah. And he does a good job with staging some of the spooky stuff. Like we said, I liked the devil. I liked the way the devil looked and the way that they showed him inhabiting the pig's head. It was in a nice creepy way, and the pig's head looked creepy. And the beginning of the fire axe scene, where it is just her kind of almost in a spotlight from the little bit of light that's coming into the window, and you can hear all these little fucking ghouls giggling around her, but you can't see any of them. Yeah. And they keep running in and tagging her with different weapons. to the point where she has to like retreat out into the hallway where there's light, and she's looking into, and then there's a reverse shot of her looking back into the room, and it's just the open door, and it's complete dark inside. You can hear all the little goofballs in there laughing. It was a cool way to stage that.
Yeah.
Like
again, it sort of
comes out of nowhere, that scene.
It's really well made. It really does feel like it's, again, proof of concept, where it's like, I want to see this director get more. I want to see Zazie Beetz do more fucking action, because it looked like she participated. I want to see everybody involved in this movie get more money and more like opportunity.
For sure.
Yeah. Because it is like, it's really well made. This feels like a movie like The Keep, which we covered, which is a movie that might be destined to be kind of not thought about for a while, and then someone's going to randomly watch it and go like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
Like that feeling where it's like, oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
No, this movie I think is going to be something like that.
It definitely has like kind of cult classic vibes.
This would have been one that me and my friends would have watched a bunch in high school for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I have anything else.
No, that's pretty much all I had on this one.
It's a pretty simple film. This is, I would categorize this ultimately. We've talked about this before. It's our job to talk about movies, but there's certain movies where I'm like, I don't need to talk about it. Does that make sense? Where I'm like,
no.
I just enjoyed it. It's like that feeling of like, I don't need to poke at this thing. I had a lot of fun. 90 minutes, simple movie.
No, I think we had a good conversation about it. Without neither one of us had too many. Yeah, we're the best. No, but I mean,
that I'll call them as I see it, where sometimes there's a movie. It goes both ways. And what I mean is sometimes there's a movie that's so mediocre that I'm like, I have nothing to say about this, really.
Why waste the energy?
Yeah, exactly. This is a movie that was quite good, and I'm like, everybody, see it. This is one where it's like it's going to be on streaming in a week because it bombed.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be like tossed around. We'll probably watch it on a Friday night.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
there's some fun stuff in it.
Yeah. If you can, check it out in theaters. If you again, I don't really blame anybody for not, because it's like,
I get it.
No,
it's an easy one to miss, even though it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're like a movie junkie that's going to the theater every week, it's easy to miss.
Like some sort of weird maniac.
I guess that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think we're finished.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, hi. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. If you go on there, you get access to exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, the complete series, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, the complete series so far, Himboos, which will never be done. That's about Supernatural. We watch movies. That's what I just referenced every Friday night. 2 movies back to back. It's a lot of fun. So you can check that out as well. And all the other tiers on there. Bunch of stuff.
You can even commission your own podcast. Boy. Yeah. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others. So check that out. Please rate and review our podcasts wherever you're listening. And check out our new show, Badical, Badical, also wherever you're listening. I think that's it.
That's probably it, right?
Those are all the things.
Yeah. In the last one, we already hailed Satan. Satan knows.
Oh, he knows. He knows. We already made our annual offering to the Dark Father, so you and I are good.
We're good. We're
regenerating, bros, for the next year. We got 365 more days of regenerating. He keeps jacking his prices up, though, like Amazon.
So, yeah, I was about to say inflation. It hits everybody.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as The Corlew, or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. gmail.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.